Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the Posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP. So, if you're new to this podcast, I might start by doing the obligatory, like, follow, subscribe, nfnppod.com, all that stuff. But if you're new, I tend to do a lot of the research, but I picked a topic today for our deep dive that I know Duds is passionate about. And I kind of just threw it on him. I'm like, you're going to have to run the show here. And Duds, I have to say, you looked a little panicked.
Yeah, a little bit.
It'll be all right.
It'll be all right. He goes, what did you say? Like, you got talking points for me?
Yeah.
Well,
I was not told I had to do any research for this show.
That's the only reason that this works, is because all you guys have to do is show up and have fun, and
Comment.
and I do all the work, which, you know what?
Yeah.
It's fine. I enjoy it. And honestly, if it wasn't for AI, this wouldn't work. It would take way too much time, the research, the formatting, but AI, I can just copy and paste and plug in what I want to do. I trained my ChatGPT all up. So it puts it in the podcast. It knows exactly what I want. And it's the only way to work these days. I don't know how anybody does anything without AI. I mean, we have
so hard. Yeah.
Like, I can't even think about what, answering emails back in the day, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I still do all my emails manually. I still do that.
That's crazy.
Me too.
No,
But I don't do as many as you.
I still do that the long way. Yeah.
That is insane. I don't respond to a single email, really, unless it's like super easy, without plugging into ChatGPT. And I just copy, paste. Sometimes I'll tell it what I want to do. I'll say, hey, I need to respond to this person. I need to tell them this, X, Y, Z. And then it just puts it together, and then I copy, paste, done. So
like
last time that I
paragraphs?
wrote an email.
Do you read through it, I guess, completely?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your credibility on the line, so I can't just 100% leave it up to ChatGPT. But
you're not outsourcing it completely.
No, but there's no question that it saves a lot of time. And I was just saying before you hopped on that I have these different screens now on my workspace. So I have my email set up, I have ChatGPT set up, and so it makes it real easy to just copy, paste, paste.
I got 3 monitors at work. I love it.
Yeah, 3. I got my 3.
Once you go to 3,
monitors.
you're like, how did I get by with 2?
No, it's insane, right? And now, have you seen these things that they sell for your laptop that it's like an extension of your laptop, and it gives you 3 screens that you travel with?
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds cool, but I'm also like, I don't want to travel with. It's essentially like another laptop,
Yeah.
I already travel with 2 laptops.
Oh,
and sometimes I'm like, my work, my personal. Sometimes I cut it down to 1, but
you got the global entry, right? You don't have to take all that stuff out anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Definitely, I have global entry, but it just takes up space, and space is at a premium because I always like to do carry-on. I hate checking bags unless I really
like
have
a big
to.
Nerd traveling with like 3 monitors.
No, right? Yeah, it's too much. It's overkill. If I can't get by on this 1 3-day trip with 1 monitor, then something's wrong. Something's wrong with the world.
Now, if you're doing a podcast on the road, you might need to bring it.
I did it on the road. It worked out okay. It was, I wasn't quite as prepared, or I couldn't see you guys. I had to have my notes up on the screen, so you guys were just off in the distance somewhere. But
you don't need to see us. We're not there.
Kind of just talking to a computer.
Yeah.
Basically. But the world is a mess, there's no question about that. And I was telling Nilla before you hopped on, I'm like, what do we talk about? Do we talk about Iran? And I'm like, that's too complicated. I don't even want to go down that. Do we talk about Minnesota again? I'm like, I feel like that'd be 3 weeks in a row. We're talking about freaking Minnesota. And not that we can't touch on it, but I'm like, what else is going on?
You feel like that's probably the main story going on right now.
Oh, it's definitely the main story.
Yeah.
There's no question, and I feel it's like
it overshadows going into another country and kidnapping their president and his wife. If it overshadows that kind of a story, it must be a big thing, right?
Nobody has even said anything about Maduro. I bet you most people don't even remember his name at this point. And you could probably ask these college kids, like at spring break or something, like, what country did we just go? And they'd be like, they'd say like, I don't know, California. They wouldn't even say a country.
Somewhere in Mexico. I don't know.
Paris? Yeah, stupid college kids. I tell you. And like we said last week, the Epstein files, gone.
Well, Greenland, that's kind of come up. It's been big for the last.
I've got a lot of hits on hits on our TikTok with the caption, "We could buy Greenland."
Or take it over.
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of negative comments about it.
Really?
Yeah.
You said we could. I mean, not,
you know, I tried to respond of just like, we're just having fun, guys. Like, if you can't tell that by this podcast, that we're just having fun and poking fun at all this. And I had to clarify. I'm like, we're not talking about military force over here. Like we could
I did see Greenland. That there's some EU countries or NATO countries that sent like a bunch of troops over there. I think it was like 18 soldiers that they sent over.
Oh, 18 soldiers.
18? Oh, okay.
It said like Germany sent 8.
We're shaking in our boots over here.
France sent 3 or something like that.
I thought some countries actually sent up military ships, I thought.
Who did?
None of it matters.
I thought some countries did.
If the U.S. wants Greenland, we can have Greenland.
Well, sure.
I think they'll probably come to some diplomatic, agreement. So,
well, who's that comedian? The English comedian, and I think we sent it in the group chat. And somebody said like, what do we do about Greenland? And he was like, you could sell it. And they're like, he was like, what are your 2 options? Military or sell it? And he goes,
do you want the money?
It's pretty easy. Like, they're gonna if you don't sell it to them, they're going to take it by force.
I mean, if they have to, if the U.S. government feels that they have to do it, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Right? And then he poked fun at Denmark's military. He's like, what military has a gun that you can't even afford blanks? It just says bang.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's good.
Like, come on, Denmark. You don't stand a chance, right? But anyhow.
Oh, what was I trying to think of? There was a Babylon Bee. Oh, it was a Babylon Bee. That said the NATO is requesting funds from America to defend Greenland from America.
We'll probably give it to them.
Yeah, I know, probably the way that our system works, right?
Yeah.
Babylon Bee is still funny. It's still clever.
They're pretty good. I wonder they have some pretty good satire.
I wonder if they have ChatGPT write all their stuff now. Okay, well, speaking of ChatGPT, and a callback to our original conversation, so we talked a little bit about this conformity gate from Stranger Things last week, and of course, nothing happened. No special episode, no meta like thing in the documentary. But the big thing is. Yeah.
They're talking about it in the 5th grade because my son,
I believe it.
His friend was saying, hey, he told me, he's like, hey, because Jameson just watched the first episode of the first season. I'm letting him know
really?
now.
Yeah.
So
he's old.
I'm going to let him do it like once a week. So it's like drags it out longer.
Takes some time to
just, I don't want him to binge on it. I want him to enjoy it. Right. So, but he saw the first episode and I guess he was talking to a kid at school about it. And he had seen this current season, was like, yeah, they're going to have another episode and they're not telling anybody. It's going to be released soon. And they're convinced that they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I was like 70% convinced. Like, I was like, this might be real.
They could still do something like they did in Breaking Bad, right? I mean, with
the follow-up movie and stuff like that. Yeah.
That was pretty good. Did you watch that?
Oh, El Camino was great.
Yeah. It was a really good follow-up.
I didn't know what that was even.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Show? No.
It was a movie.
It was like a 2-hour
movie. Oh. Huh.
And when they filmed it, they had to film it under a completely different name, so nobody knew that, or maybe it was just El Camino, but nobody knew it was related to Breaking Bad. you know.
Oh, the people on the set didn't?
Well, I mean,
they
I'm sure they did, but like, like, cause you, as a production company, you have to like say what you're working on. It basically becomes public knowledge. So people would be like, oh, like they just posted, like they're starting filming on Breaking Bad. Well, they had to call it something, you know, completely different. You know,
people wouldn't know.
Yeah, people didn't give it a second thought.
It's a continuation?
Yeah.
It was Jesse Pinkman.
It's basically Jesse's story.
What happened to him right after killed himself, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a flashback in it where Walter White comes back. So even though it's a flashback, so it happens before he dies. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I thought they could probably do something like that.
That would do lots of things.
Definitely. And I'm sure it would be very successful. But you know, people are ripping now that it's possible Conformity Gate is dead and they're not coming out with another episode. People are like, this makes the finale even worse. And then the people watch the documentary.
People didn't like the finale?
It's like mixed reviews now, and I think it's kind of getting worse when you follow it along on Rotten Tomatoes. The score is like dropping a point or two every cut, so it's down at like 79% now, and it was in the mid 80s, I think, when it first came out. And so now they released this documentary, which I didn't watch. I was tempted, but then I was like, I'll just wait for what everybody else says. Well, then they came out and they said it's just a documentary. It's okay. But, you know, it's all about the making of season 5. And in it, they showed the Duffer Brothers. And they, first off, they talk about how they're started filming episode 1 of season 5, and they hadn't even written the finale at that point yet. Yeah. So people are like blasting them for that. They were like, you didn't even know what was going on, blah, blah, blah. Well, then when they zoom in on the Duffer Brothers, like working on the script for season 5, they have 2 tabs open to ChatGPT and 1 open to Reddit. And so people are like, wait a minute. Did ChatGPT like help you write season 5? Were you looking for fan theories on Reddit and figuring out how you could work that into your plot? So they're like, this documentary actually made the Duffer Brothers look not so smart. Conformity Gate makes them sound like these geniuses that are going to have done something that's never been done in television before. And then now this documentary makes them look so stupid that they have to use ChatGPT to come up with their stories.
Well, they're probably using AI in a way to go throughout the internet and figure out, hey, give us some good ideas on stuff to put in these shows.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, just because they have ChatGPT,
a lot of fan sites, they have
that could
really
be up there
ideas.
To help them with some of the physics. Like it might not have anything to do with the actual story, but it could help them with research. So I'm not going to say that ChatGPT wrote season 5, but people are speculating that.
Right. Yeah.
Allegedly.
All right. Well, should we move on to our deep dive here?
Oh, since we were on the shows.
Okay, let's keep it going.
I did do the first episode of Pluribus last night.
What'd you think?
It was very weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It was a very weird show.
It gets better. It gets better once you kind of figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Because after that first show, I was like, man, that would be depressing.
It is.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah,
and you're just talking to some weird, entity or whatever.
Right. It's good. It kind of like turns into like a zombie show without it being a zombie show. So I'm not going to give too much away. Obviously,
the first episode was funny because they're all being like super helpful, right? But they're still creepy as hell.
Oh, they're creepy as hell.
Like, this is weird.
Yeah, it gets creepier, and if you really pay attention, you'll pick up on some things. Like, holy cow, I can't believe they thought of that. Because the whole way this thing works, and again, I don't want to give too much away.
So how many?
Not to you, and not to our listeners.
That's on Apple, right?
Apple.
Gotta get Apple to do that.
Yep. And
is it a whole season all right?
Whole season already, probably like 8 episodes or something. And Ray Seahorn, she's already won 2 freaking awards for this show.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, the fact that she's even nominated, I was like, it just came out. So how did they have time to even nominate her? She won the Critics' Choice Award for Best Female Actress in a Lead Role. And then she just won the Golden Globes for Best Female Actress.
It was available free on Prime, so I watched it on that.
Well, do you torrent anymore? Download the torrent.
Nah, I don't do that
I do. I still torrent, man.
I got too paranoid with the computers and the viruses. I don't know what's out there. Not doing that.
I just use a VPN. It's fine.
I got a
All
VPN
good.
going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Highly recommend that.
Oh, I'm always on my VPN.
They're not a sponsor, but they could be.
There we go. I use Express. I use Express VPN.
I use all the Proton suite.
Okay.
I actually pay for it.
Yeah. I pay for my VPN services. Yeah. Now my fake GPS, that's free. I told you I do that sometimes, fake GPS. But okay. So sticking along these lines, then talking about the Golden Globes. This was not in my agenda, but maybe it should have been. Nikki Glaser. I know this is the second time we've talked about Nikki Glaser on this podcast. She hosted the Golden Globes, which I'm not one to watch these shows, especially with all the political talk. So I don't know if you guys saw this. We had like Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes were wearing the Be Good pins. Be Good for Nicole Good, right? So like, but I'm like, Nikki Glaser is funny. She is funny, and she's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched,
I saw a little clip.
Her opening monologue is pretty good, and she just tears into these people. I thought her best one was probably Leonardo DiCaprio, and she's talking about all of his big roles and the awards that he's won, and she goes, "And you managed to accomplish all of this before your girlfriend turned 30." I was just like that. That's funny. It's on brand. Like, she made fun of Kevin Hart, of course, a lot, and his height, and
it's an easy target.
Yeah,
was he
easy
hosting?
target. Nikki Glaser was hosting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nikki Glaser. Yeah, she was the host. So I don't know. So we watched that, and then I sometimes I pay attention to the wins, but a lot of stuff won that I was like, I don't even know what this is. I've never even heard of this. So the big winner of the night was Hamnet. Not Hamlet. Hamnet.
Never heard of it. Not sure what it is.
No, I don't know. The other big winner was, which I have heard of, but I haven't watched, and I don't really have much of an interest in it, is, what is it called? Adolescence.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard
Adolescence. Yeah. It's about like a kid with, ADHD and, what's the other big thing all the kids have these days?
Autism,
I think.
Oh.
Yeah. The thing that all the kids have.
Yeah, I was like, they all got it.
They all got it. They got something. If it's not autism, it's ADHD. And if it's not ADHD, then it's, OCD. If it's not OCD, then it's Tourette's. If it's, something.
We just let ours run wild.
Me too. Yep. No medication, no nothing.
Nah. Free him. Nah. Free range.
Freedom. That's right. Okay. All right. Enough bullshit, right? We've been, I don't know how long we've been talking here, but we got to get into the
main event of the night. Okay.
Yeah, the main event. So I did this for you, Dud. So don't let me down. But the Fed is in the news right now, and it has been. So I was like, all right, let's do a little bit of a deep dive on the Fed. Now I have to say this. I have to say it off the get-go. I do have a conflict of interest.
Okay.
My father-in-law used to work for the Fed here in St. Louis. He has since retired.
Is that kind of, yeah, right.
Yeah, he has since retired, but he loved the job. He loves the Fed.
What did he do there?
He was some type of auditor.
Crank the big handle to
he was all the money. I think he was pretty high up there, man. I think he got the job not like right out of college, but like probably 5 years out of college, and then he was there until he retired. So
wow,
and I think
30,
pretty good company,
years.
pretty good company. It's not a company, but pretty good place to work.
I think they are. I think
are they a company?
The Federal Reserve is a private bank. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a private bank. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. All right.
It's like Starbucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's right. Yeah. They probably make their money the same way. And I've got some of those stats in here. But the main story, the reason that it's topical at the moment is, of course, Trump has this big feud with Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. And of course, a lot of it revolves around, the biggest thing is that he wants interest rates cut. He thinks that Powell is holding up his economy by not cutting interest rates. So that's the big thing. The other thing on top of this is that they're, and I should double check this. I didn't do enough research. Are they redoing their building, or they're building a new building?
I think they are rehabbing part of their building.
Right.
And he said, the clip I saw said that there was like a second or third building that they were working on too.
So they're expanding.
But I don't know if it was new buildings though. It was definitely like rehab work.
Well, they're way over budget.
$3 billion.
Yeah, they're way over budget. So whatever the budget was, they're between $700 million and $1 billion over
You're so
that
far
budget.
past the budget, you can't even see the budget anymore.
That's right. That's right. Good line. So
the
Trump
budget is a dot to you.
Great. That is a great one. So I mean, Trump's pissed about that. So I think that's part of it. He thinks that they're rigging the system. They're lining their own pockets. All of that stuff. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have a take on that. I know, Duds, you're a Bitcoin guy, so you're down with the Fed, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I've never liked the Fed.
Never
hate the Fed. Hate the Fed.
That sounds like another Seinfeld.
It does sound like something.
No, it's definitely from Seinfeld. But what is it from?
It's the Duke, isn't it the Duke? Or is it the Duke?
It's a different name. It's something like that. Love the. Oh, I forget. I don't know. I know what it is. Is it
the drink? That's what it was.
Love the drink. Yeah, love the drink.
Hate the drink. Hate the drink.
Yeah, right. Nice one. That 2 back to back, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the other one was? That was Friends.
That was Friends. You're right.
Yeah.
It's not Seinfeld. I was thinking that. I'm taking a sip.
You're so far past the line. You can't even see the line. The line is a dot to you.
Is that when Chandler is making out with Joey's girlfriend? Is that the one?
That's what it was. Yeah.
It makes him spend the night in the box.
Jenny, she watches Friends all the time. So
we've watched. I
hear all those lines constantly.
We did. We've done both the Friends and Seinfeld off Broadway up in New York, and they're both freaking funny. So if you're a fan of either one, I recommend it. All right. So here's a couple of stats, right, with regards to the interest rate, the Fed, all of that. Inflation year over year. This came out just the other day. 2.7%, even, more or less, even. So something I wanted to call out right off the bat is the hypocrisy in CNN's reporting on the inflation rate. So did you see this? So during Biden's era, when inflation was at 6%, their tweet at the time was, U.S. inflation is still high, but it's falling. Under Trump, inflation, 2.7%. Here's their tweet. This was just January 13th, so just a couple days ago. U.S. inflation remained at 2.7 in December, underscoring persistent cost of living challenges.
And isn't that typically been known as like the target? Like 2 to 3%?
2.7? Oh.
I think is probably what they've always said.
2% is supposedly ideal.
Right.
2%. Yeah. That's what they aim for. Because
that's
generally
a far cry from 6%.
Of course. And that way off the high was 9%. So when CNN, just because Biden was in office, they're like, inflation is high, but it's coming down. Don't worry, people. Biden's doing the right thing. Now it's at 2.7%, and they're like, Trump can't get a handle on the cost of living increase. It's like, so come on, man. Like, we see what you're doing, CNN.
You're saying they're hypocrites over there? Come on.
You think so?
I think, yeah.
You think so? Aye. Okay. The Fed is an independent entity, right? So that's a big thing. They make money from a couple different ways, right? So they make money. They make money from interest income on their securities that they hold. They make money on fees that they charge for financial services, moving money around from bank to bank and things like that. They make interest on loans that they give to other banks. And then after it pays its operating costs, which would be salaries, buildings, tech, anything like that, they send any remaining money to the U.S. Treasury as like a bonus, basically. So you're like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that, right? But what happens if the Fed loses money? Do you guys know this? What happens if they're not making money? And guess what? They ain't making money right now. And it is kind of strange. Actually, I'm not smart enough to figure this out. And you don't hear me say that very often.
You didn't ask ChatGPT?
Well, I kind of did, but I didn't understand what it was telling me.
Okay. Gotcha.
It was over my head.
Yeah.
When the interest rate is high, the Fed they usually operate at a loss. And that I couldn't quite make the connection there, because I'm like, but they're making money off the interest rate on their loans and things like that.
How do they ever lose money?
I don't get it. So
when you create the money, how do you possibly lose it?
Exactly. So when they have a shortfall, and when, of course, there's $700 million, $1 billion over budget on this building rehab, they're going to be a shortfall. They essentially just write an IOU to the government. That's what they do.
Isn't that what the debt is? That's just
right. Yeah, it is. But I don't know that they ever pay it back. They don't pay it back. That's the thing.
They write the IOU and then they just tear it up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a write-off.
They know how to take the IOUs. They just don't know how to repay the IOUs. Another Seinfeld reference there, right?
The reservation.
So they call it, when he's renting a car,
Yeah.
But I made the reservation. How do you not have? Yeah. So they call it a deferred asset, and basically what they mean is like, we ain't got the money to give to you, but when we make money again, we'll give it to you then.
Don't worry.
Okay, so
we know where it's made.
I mean, yeah. If they're making money, they give it to the government. If they're losing money, then they just don't, right?
Right. Okay. So how long, though? I mean, has it been going on? And I'm pretty sure they'd be up, though, as far as how much they've given versus taken.
Probably.
Yeah. All right.
Probably.
Anyways.
You're probably right about that.
What about Trump and the credit card interest?
Well, that's the thing. He was trying to cap it at 10%, but only for a year.
Yeah, I think that's...
I don't really get this either. I was like, people are just going to be like, oh, the interest rate's low. Let me just put more money in my credit card. And then the interest rate's going to end. And then they're just going to be like, well, I can't afford to pay this. Yeah. And there's just going to be more credit card debt.
Credit card companies don't offer 0% for a year all the time.
It's true. Yeah.
They want people to rack up the debt. They want you to overspend. And then when the bill comes due, you have to make a minimum. That's their goal.
Yeah, they can't help it that people are stupid.
Yeah, they're capitalizing on the stupidity, is what they're doing. Yeah,
I got a thing from my Lowe's credit card the other day, which I have, and I hardly ever keep. There's no balance on it right now. Yeah. It's empty. But sometimes, if you got a big home project or something, they'll give you 6 months, no interest. And I was like, I'll take that, So I got my Lowe's credit card, and I got an update, and they're doing a 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months option, depending on how much you spend.
A certain amount.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not doing anything right now, so I don't need it. But I read it, and then it says there, if you don't pay, what do you think the interest rate is?
Oh,
25.
27.
27?
32.
30?
32%. And actually, it might have been 32.99. Essentially 33%.
I think that there is an actual maximum, and that might be.
Is there a cap? I'm like, that is absurd.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I'm like, oh, and that's what they do. They trap people. Yeah, I will, of course.
Well, then they hit you with fees, other fees, because a lot of people they get into that spiral where it's like, oh, I missed the payment. As soon as you miss the payment, they charge you the interest, they charge you the fees, and then the ball just keeps picking up, just like a snowball, right?
Yep.
That effect, and people get trapped.
I was reading something, and I don't know exactly how much it was now. I think it was saying, was it $6,000 or was it $2,000 on a credit card with the interest was like $100 a month in interest. I'm trying to think how much it was now. But either way, I mean, $100 is, a decent amount in interest.
Yeah.
If you can't pay the initial, then
do you guys listen to Dave Ramsey at all or follow any of his stuff on social media?
Yeah, I've listened to him before. I don't listen to him a lot, but I've listened to a couple episodes of his.
Yeah, usually whatever just pops up on social media, but I actually kind of like his concepts. I know not everybody does. Some people are like, oh, it's okay to carry debt, but I was like, you know what? I like his plan.
For people that are bad with saving.
Right. Yeah.
And not being able to pay off a credit card every month religiously and not carry interest. the system he has works great because it's for people that aren't, I guess, what do you call it?
Stupid,
financially literate.
No, I was just they're not just able to keep themselves from doing that. Just trying to find the word, but
yeah, you know what you mean.
Well, it's like they know they shouldn't go on that vacation, but then they're like, "Oh, I have the money on my credit card."
Maybe more compulsive.
Compulsive, yeah, something like that, right?
So for people
they
that
do it, even though they know they shouldn't, and then they run into the issue like, "Oh my god, now I got to pay the bill. What do I do?"
Yeah, if you're, I guess, disciplined. If you're not disciplined, where you can stop yourself from buying stuff and you can stick to a budget, then I think a system is great because it keeps you from racking up the debt, right?
So I use Rocket Money. I don't know if anybody. It used to be called Truebill. So I did it when it was Truebill, and now Rocket, same as Rocket Mortgage, they bought this app, and I like it. It keeps track of everything I spend, all of my expenses, my credit card balances, anything like that. It keeps track of the value of my house, all of my income, so at the end of the year or the end of every month, it'll tell me how much I spent on food, how much I spent on, and you can go in and change categories or whatever. So it's pretty good budget app, and I think I'm grandfathered in because I came in under Truebill, so I have it for free. I don't know that. I don't think it's free anymore.
All right.
I don't use any budgeting software. I've looked at it before, and I don't know. I just like to kind of do it the old spreadsheet,
the old fashioned way. Well, again, ChatGPT will help you with that.
If it works, then it doesn't matter. But I see those commercials all the time for those ones that are like, go up to somebody randomly and they're like, do you have any idea how much you spent on, eating out or something like that? And it could be like even Grubhub type stuff, like, and they say, or how many subscriptions do you have? And they're like, 3. And they're like, he's like, download this app. And then they have like 10. It's like $300 a month at least in subscriptions,
That's basically what
I listed
Rocket
all the stuff that we have like monthly subscriptions to. It's crazy. If you actually sit down and you write it all down, you'd be surprised how much you're spending monthly.
But sometimes people though still have stuff that's old. They don't even know they still have, gym membership, whatever it may be. It's like, they have 2 accounts for one thing they're paying for. It's like, what?
Well, and they're either too scared to call and cancel. That kind of goes back to the Friends episode 2, right? Where Ross and Chandler go to the gym and they try and cancel.
I want to quit the gym.
Yeah, right. And then they bring out the really sexy chick wearing nothing. That walks by.
I think Ross actually signed up at that time.
He did. He went with him to help him, and then he ended up signing up. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So that's what happens. That's what happens.
Yeah. Well, those apps will do that for you. They'll cancel it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They'll cancel it for you. Now they charge a fee, or so.
Sure.
Nah, I like that it tracks, and you can be like, oh, here are all my subscriptions.
Well, how terrible is it that you have
but
a credit card attached to like Amazon, right? And when people are constantly buying stuff on Amazon. So how many transactions do you just always see? It just makes your credit card statement forever long too.
Sure. Yeah.
And you can't tell one transaction from the other. So you're getting all these memberships on there, and then you're filling it with these other transactions. It's a ton to go through.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's what scammers hope for. They hope that they can sneak in and that you don't.
$10 here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't catch it.
It'd be easy. Yeah, if you don't get greedy.
Yeah. Well, there's things on Amazon that I'm like, what is this? Like I
guess I bought it.
I got not even that, like a monthly subscription. I have a $5.99 Amazon Kids, which I guess I need for their tablets. I don't even know, but I have that. I have $1.99 for Apple storage. I have $2.99 for Gmail storage. I'm like, what? Like, do I need
get
both
an Android?
I don't know.
You don't need that Apple storage.
Well, it's my wife that has the Apple storage, not me.
Same.
Yes.
They charge you $3 a month. $3 a month for that.
Exactly. So she's got the $2.99. I've got the cloud. Yeah. And soon we're gonna run out of space on that, and they're gonna start wanting to charge us $10.99.
Where do you go from the cloud? Like, what's above the clouds?
Space.
All right. Back to the Fed. So Trump is on Powell, but I don't know that he can do anything. So look at it. You can't fire, I don't think, the Fed chair.
Yeah, because he's elected by the board, right?
He's elected by the board. And what it basically says is that Trump can shape the roster over time. So like he can, nominate these other people to be on the board. But then once the chairman is in, they're in for like these long stints unless they resign. I always remember Alan Greenspan.
Oh yeah. Janet Yellen was there for a long time too.
Yeah. That was back when we were like in high school and stuff like that.
I was saying that name sounds familiar. I didn't know why, but
I think she was under Obama. Yeah. And then or Biden too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he brought her back for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Don't like her.
So here's some other things. So they have cut the interest rate, right? But ever so subtly.
Yeah.
Half a point, not even half a point. It's like a quarter of a point. And the thing is, it's always under what the market expects.
25 basis points.
Right. 25 basis points. Yeah. Right.
You use the right terminology.
Thank you.
I was like,
but
what?
the market will be like, oh, we think the Fed's going to drop it half of a point. And then they only drop it a quarter of a point, and then it sends the market, they tank for a day,
Yeah.
And you're like, I just lost 10% on one day because the Fed didn't do, what it was supposed to do, which,
then the next day they do it, and the market goes down again.
Well, right.
Then it goes back up.
Like, it's
that
is true. That is true. So they do it based on two principles, right? And I'm doing this off of memory, not my notes. It's the unemployment rate, right? And inflation. I'm pretty sure those are the two things.
Off, but that sounds about right. Yeah.
No, that's it. Like that's their goal. They try and keep people employed, keep the workforce going, and keep inflation moderate.
Around 2%.
Around 2%.
Well, yeah, right.
Yes. So they look at just those two metrics. That's all they're really supposed to be looking at. So what the market's doing, what the housing market's doing, that's all extra stuff.
Of the metrics they like to keep the muddiest too.
Well, sure, right? That's where things gets tricky, no doubt. So the unemployment rate right now is 4.4%, which is pretty good. I don't know that anybody's going to complain about that.
Maybe people not working, but
maybe. So now these are the thing though, unemployment rate is only people that are actively looking for a job.
Right.
So if you're not in the workforce, you're not counted.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, aren't you actually supposed to be actively looking to collect unemployment though?
Yes, and you can only collect unemployment for a certain amount of time. And I think this is for people that are looking for employment in their field, right? I think. I'm not 100% sure. So like, if I was unemployed for a while and then I went and I started looking for a job in the construction industry, I don't know if I would count towards that. But if I was looking for a job,
does it have to be a comparable field? Yeah. So that's why I'm saying they miss this, or they mess this up so much. It's like, what is an unemployed person?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Somebody capable of working?
Right.
Somebody who wants to be unemployed?
Somebody who wants to be working? Like,
sure.
How do you define that?
Is it like
that's always the argument. That's why it's really hard to calculate that.
Yeah, it's definitely not George Costanza.
I want to know,
Nate Dogg.
If you are a paid protester, are you considered unemployed?
So, speaking of that, and this is pivoting a little bit, I was watching the news earlier today, and they were showing all these riots up in Minneapolis and more stuff happening today. And whoever was on the news at the time, was asking the person that was there, right? The in-field reporter, like, who are these people? Where are they coming from? It's 2:30 on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And they literally said, like, it's a work day.
Yeah.
Like, who are these people? Right? So you have to wonder, are they getting paid
all night long?
Right?
Are they unemployed?
Like, what are they unemployed? Like, yeah. Who are they?
I think they've found that, they look at the cell phone data and it's these same people that are going around everywhere.
Sure. Well, that's the thing. Well, and that's the thing. They're probably independently wealthy, right? They're probably mooching off their parents' trust fund or something, and they think that they're being righteous. They don't even live in Minneapolis.
Right.
They live in Georgia, and they're like,
the one person was 4 hours away. I remember they were interviewing.
Yeah.
No, it was a guy. I read a story. It was a guy. He was going to stand outside of a storefront. Was somebody share this in the group chat or no?
I don't know.
And basically, because he had family who lived in this like area, and these people didn't feel safe with all the ICE agents around, right? So this guy volunteered to go from 4 hours away to come up to stand outside of the storefront to protect them from the ICE agents, I guess, basically, or something like that. I'm like, what? It doesn't even make sense.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Kyle Rittenhouse. We're going to have that all over again.
Right.
Something's going to happen.
Well, it feels like it's coming to a boiling point, and I guess now we're talking a little bit Minnesota. We might as well just get into the weeds on this. We can come back to the Fed if we want, but a couple of things since our last episode. One, more footage has come out of Renee Nicole Good, of what she was doing, who she was with. She was a quote unquote professional agitator. The whole thing with the school, right?
Yeah,
I think somebody said that she
that.
picked the school because they were anti-ICE and that they were giving them instructions on how to interfere. I'm like, what is the school doing?
Yeah, I don't know if the school was doing it or if it was the groups through the school.
I don't know.
Exactly.
The way I read it, it made it sound like it was the actual school entity.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just bad.
That should be illegal.
Maybe it was bad writing. I was like, they should be focused on school stuff.
Yeah, there was like an app or something probably where if people see them out somewhere, they like report them. So like, oh, people come there, basically.
Right, but I think they were using that. They were a school to teach people how to be,
Yeah, there was like a
social
program
justice
or
warriors,
exactly.
And fight for injustice.
So are we talking about her kid's school or a school that she was in?
No, I think that was
her
kid's school.
Her kids.
I think that was her kid's school that she
That's
selected.
what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, then you saw that the ICE officer had internal bleeding.
I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I can't see internally.
No.
I did not actually see the X-ray.
Yeah, no X-ray vision, right? But yeah, that's what they said. They said he had internal bleeding. Now,
from his personal footage,
there has to be
it looked
something
like
to back it up.
He got hit pretty good.
Oh, he definitely got hit, and I think people are really undercutting that. Whatever. Did you see? And I know you did because we talked about it in the group chat. But to bring it up here, Caroline Levitt in that reporter today. So I watched that live. He asked he asked the question, and she was like, "Well, what do you think happened?" And he goes, "Well, I think an ICE agent killed a civilian for no reason." And
unjustly,
she goes,
or something.
"You're a hack." She goes, "You're a liberal hack."
Yeah.
A no good liberal trash. How can you even call yourself a reporter? You shouldn't even be in this room.
You biased son of a bitch.
Oh, she tore into this guy, man, and he just sat there taking it. I don't know what else you do.
He was trying to kind of say something, but I mean, he wasn't getting a word in edgewise, and it was
the only thing he said is, "What do you want me to do?" that was all he could come up with. Terrible, man. So I don't know. So then there was another ICE shooting. Just late last night. I guess it was some 3 Venezuelans started attacking an ICE officer with some snow shovels.
Were they Venezuelan? I thought maybe they're Somalian. No,
I heard Venezuelan.
Oh, okay. I'm not positive. I'll just
Yeah.
Not United States citizens.
No,
Sure.
no,
Okay.
right. So, and I think this is what's happening. But another shooting. Nobody died this time, but the officer and the suspect that was shot were in the hospital, from what I understand. And then it just sows more chaos. Right now, there's more people up there. This mayor is nutso. He's crazy. Tim Walz, we've already established, is crazy, or the word we will not mention.
Well, he needs to be in jail.
Yeah, he's a fraudster.
Yes.
Allegedly. Yes.
And Trump now
but
is
I
saying
think he's going to go to jail.
Eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allegedly, he will eventually go to jail. So, yeah.
I mean, I saw those comments from the mayor today, and did you watch that?
Yes.
Did you see the sheriff's eyebrows pop up? Like,
that was good. He was like,
they literally. I was telling Jane about this. They literally want the local cops to. Are we talking like fist fight, or are we talking about shootout in the street against ICE agents? I mean, what are we talking here?
Something like that.
Is that what he's planning? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what they want. The people.
I think the sheriff was like, what is he saying?
We're not fighting the government. I mean,
No, not gonna do that.
Well, because he knows the government will win.
Well, yeah, I mean,
now
which government though? Which government?
well,
yeah.
I mean, not the state police.
This police officer looked pretty legit, right? He looked pretty built. Like, he doesn't look to me like
Think
he's excited about
even the
this
city
mayor.
police department. I mean, if there's New York City's is the biggest. How many police officers do they have in New York City?
Thousands.
100,000?
No,
there's a lot.
Not that
there's
many.
a lot of police
Crockett,
officers.
look it up. Well, do you know how many are in Minneapolis? It's like 700.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, that's it? There's nothing.
There's already more ICE agents there than there probably is police.
Sure.
So
yeah. Well,
I
now Trump's going to send in not only the National Guard, he might do the Insurrection Act and send in the military.
Yeah.
Well, and he probably should. He probably needs to go, and he needs to take Tim Walz and take the mayor out and say, you guys are not handling the situation.
Haul him off like Maduro.
I think what they should do is they should pull out, okay, for now, right? And then let everything subside, okay? And then if they come back, well, they're not going to be orchestrated again. These people aren't going to come back from wherever they're from again, potentially in a couple days, maybe.
It'll look like Trump is, backing down.
I would like to see if Trump goes in and he takes out all of the protesters, right?
Yeah.
That are attacking ICE, whoever, right, is there.
Sure.
Go through with zero tolerance, right?
Yeah. Just start arresting them.
You touch somebody, whatever. If you're there unlawfully,
throw something, yeah.
And you just arrest them, take them all out. I mean, how many people are they sending into these places? New people,
Yeah, right. True.
How many new people?
Where we got 100 people,
I mean, even if it's 1,000, 2,000 people.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know how
what's
many
the
people
end
are up
game
there.
here. What are they like wanting to do specifically? Like how many? Like, is there a certain amount? Is there I guess they know kind of.
How many?
Well,
how many they're trying to get, ship out and take.
Well, the thing is they always say they're acting on information. So they basically say that they know who they're going after. They know, it's not random, despite what the media is trying to tell you. They're knocking on doors, but they're looking for somebody in particular. They're not just going up to everyday Americans and saying, let me see your papers, which is what
not a warrant necessarily, but if they're here illegally, then they don't need the warrant, but they still have a list of the specific person they're going for, right?
Right.
If you can't present your identification, because we're trying to find people, everybody has an ID.
It does get a little sticky though, because if ICE comes to you and says, "Let me see your identification," you could tell them to F off.
Try to run them over with your car.
Well, but you're not required to give them your identification. You say, "I'm an American citizen. I don't need to show you shit," and they can't do anything in theory.
No, they can't. Right.
They could arrest you if they had just cause to believe you were an illegal alien.
Right.
And that is where the Democrats are like, well,
profiling.
That's what the Democrats are saying, right?
Well,
they're not going after white people.
Yes. Right. Profiling is not always wrong. Like if you're looking for a Venezuelan person, they're probably going to look like they're from Venezuela.
If they know, I guess that's true. If they know who they're going after. Now, if they're stopping random people on the street, then that's a different story. It kind of goes like what was it in New York? The stop and frisk, right?
Right.
You remember that?
Successful stop and frisk.
It was successful. That's what's crazy about it all. New York was never safer than when they.
It was Rudy Giuliani, right?
Who were they looking for?
It was the greatest. It was like
people with weapons.
The best time,
but of course
history.
It got struck down because it was racist because the cops were profiling African Americans.
Sure, right, okay, yeah.
And the streets became safer, surprisingly.
Right. Surprisingly.
I mean, not surprisingly, but yes, right. I got you.
Okay, all right. Back to the Fed, and last thing, is
it time
to sidebar? Yeah. Is it time to rethink the Fed? Right. So. I don't know if I said this, but the Fed was created in 1913. 1913 and operates as an independent entity. It was Woodrow Wilson. Nice duds.
He implemented a lot of shit in this country that's destroying the country.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Maybe it's just outdated now.
Well, and I think that's the thing.
Right.
Woodrow Wilson wasn't a bad president by historical standards.
Yeah.
He tried to create the UN. Is that right? He created the first version of the UN, if I
it was
remember
like
correctly.
the what was it? It wasn't the United Nation. It was something else
Yeah,
though. It was
yeah. I have to
yeah, I can't
go
remember what it was
back into
called.
my history books,
It was a
but
big failure though. Yeah.
it was a failure, right? But it laid the groundwork for the UN, and he did some things, and obviously World War I stuff, was going on. But right, is it outdated? Do we need to rethink this? Of course, we have things like Bitcoin, blockchain, digital currencies. So where does that take things? And I know, Dudge, that's this is more your line of work.
Yeah, I'd like to say Bitcoin.
Obviously.
So
I think
I did a little bit of research of like, can the Fed kind of do what Bitcoin does? And the short of it was no. Bitcoin operates on the blockchain. It's very finite, which serves a purpose, right? Do you know the exact number? You probably do.
21 million. Yeah, is the
21 million Bitcoins.
correct. That's
There
the
will
total stock.
There will never be any more. That's all that there is. Right. But what the Fed,
it's about 20 million mined already.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So of that 21 million total supply that will ever exist, almost, I don't know what it is, 90 something percent of it has been mined and will.
Right.
So the amount of new Bitcoin coming in every year from now till I think it's 2140 will be that last million.
They already know how long it's going to be.
Yeah, there's an end date to when the last Bitcoin will be mined. Yeah.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
Well, so then it's not really worth mining anymore now because there's very little to get still.
That's not true.
It's worth mining because the value.
Because it's worth more and more.
Correct.
Right? Well,
when you mined a Bitcoin back in the day, it wasn't worth anything.
So you can mine if you have the amount of processing power that it takes to mine a Bitcoin, which is a tremendous amount, right? We can get into the whole energy thing with Bitcoin later, but I think it's every 10 minutes is a new block that's mined. And right now it's like 3 1/8 Bitcoin that is the reward for the mining block. So every 10 minutes, 3.125 Bitcoins is released to whoever solves the equation that the computers are running these calculations for. So it's a block reward is what they call it.
So that would be worth Bitcoin roughly $300,000, give or take.
Something $350,000.
Right.
Depending on what the price is.
But what is
every 10 minutes?
What's the cost to mine those Bitcoins, right?
So that's the whole
cost. Depends on what country you're in.
The cost of mining all comes down to energy usage, right? With your miners. So if a miner costs $6,000 or $10,000 to run, it's going to take in a certain amount of power to run it, and that is going to be your cost, right, through your utility. Well, if the cost, the dollars per kilowatt hour is too high, depending on the price that you can sell the Bitcoin for, say it costs you, if it costs you $70,000 to run the machine, and you're only going to be able to sell the Bitcoin for $60,000, you would not continue to run the machine because it wouldn't pay off, right?
Unless you're the Fed.
And the only machines that stay on during those times are machines that are either very high efficiency, so they're the best, most newest miners that they have on the market, very competitive, right? They're always putting out new ones. And then your cost of your energy usage. So it actually takes, a country that can generate the power cheaper can benefit much more than a company or a country who's has higher energy costs, right? So in America and Europe and I don't know, some other, maybe Australia, it's higher energy costs. So the miners have to operate the best machines, and
which is more expensive.
If the price tanks, then the mining hash rate drops because they're going to turn them off.
Right.
But then you have other countries that can produce, like they've built these, oil plants and coal plants in these other countries, and they're producing way more power than they need for a village,
like Iran, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Or places in Africa, that have power plants that have been built, but they're not, the power usage in those countries is like nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Because they don't have these data centers. They don't have houses. They don't have.
Right. So they, can build this power plant and have loads of power that will really just be burned off and wasted otherwise. But if they put in miners before the meter, before they sell, they're not paying for that. That energy is not being paid for. It's the excess energy that these power plants are generating, which would be lost to heat somehow, right?
Yeah.
They can actually put towards running mining machines and mining Bitcoin and then using that on their balance sheet to offset other costs.
Yeah.
So my buddy works up at a nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania, and he told me years ago that they had put in a Bitcoin mining operation right there. And they're doing this with data centers too, working out these utility rates with them. But they have a Bitcoin mining operation going where it's a nuclear power plant. It's always generating a certain amount of power.
Right.
Well, the usage in the area is it's sized where it's way above the usage that they could ever need.
Well, that's the beauty of a nuclear power plant too,
Yeah.
right?
So all of that extra, they hit peak loads and they just shut down some of the machines, right? If they have to. But otherwise, they're just running as many machines as they can and mining the hell out of Bitcoin. And that is what people don't understand, that like blast it for using extra energy. And it's like, it's not really using extra energy. That's not how the power grid works. They're generating power and they have to generate for peak loads. And then at night, that all drops off.
They're using energy that would otherwise be wasted.
It'd be wasted, right?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Especially, so it works really good for power sources like nuclear and hydroelectric and I think the geothermal, the stuff that's constantly producing the same amount of energy for a peak load, and it can do it all the time. So it's terrible.
Wind
for
would not
solar,
be good.
Solar, wind, that shit
Not
doesn't work good for that.
So let me ask you this question: why the creator of Bitcoin? Why did he front load the release of all the Bitcoin? So we had a lot more Bitcoin that was released in the early stages. Was this to fuel the system?
Yeah, I think it was to kind of prime the system. I'm not an expert on this by any means, but this is
more so than me and Nilla.
This is my opinion just from books I've read, like all the Saifedean books that I've really read them. I've listened to them. I won't say I've read them.
It counts.
But I listened to quite a few of those. He's an economist and he explains it really well. I've listened to a bunch of his podcasts. And the way that like a good asset, a hard money asset works is based off of the stock to flow ratio. So having a large stock, which is the current amount of, in this case, Bitcoin that have been mined.
Yeah.
So it's the total, the 20 million, say. That's your stock. And the flow would be how much new Bitcoin is being created per year, right? So it's a percentage of this is the new amount of Bitcoin created this year versus this is the total amount we have, right? And you want the stock to flow ratio to be very small. So with gold, it's very small because the amount of gold they mine every year is like a couple percent.
We talked about this. Talked about this a couple episodes ago.
They can. It's funny how much there's similarities between the gold and Bitcoin, which is why they call Bitcoin digital gold.
Sure.
Because the way, if you add a bunch of miners at this stage in the game with how much gold stock there is, you can increase the amount of mining, but you can't increase it. And there's no good veins that they found, right, that will allow for you to upset that stock to flow ratio.
Right.
So it kind of becomes cost prohibitive to do that because it's not worth how much you have to go to these distant places, far off, remote places. The amount of energy that you have to expend to go get the gold is not worth it for what the price is.
So we talked about that with bringing in the meteor, right? You bring in the meteor, costs a lot of money. So, but there has to be enough gold on that meteor to make it worth it, right? But then that'll screw up the stock to flow. Now, going back to the Fed and how this all works is Bitcoin is locked in, right? There is no manipulating the market per se, right? Which is why a lot of people are really high on Bitcoin. And you look at Iran, who with all the chaos they had this week, their currency went to $0. Zero. So like it's worthless. Maybe it's worth something in Iran. I don't know, but it's worth nothing. Zero.
It's probably
US
worth
dollars.
burning, for warmth at this point.
Well, that's how it was like in after World War II with the Germans. Like their money was so worthless, right? Great Depression, our money still had some.
Well, even Venezuela went through this.
Had it in like wheelbarrows in the streets.
Venezuela, Argentina,
Zimbabwe is the most popular one. I have my did I show you my Zimbabwe money?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. But
it's like $240 trillion.
I know, right? Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a Zimbabwe 200, or I don't know how many it was, but it was trillions, like $200 trillion.
I don't know how they keep track of that stuff.
Well, at that point, it's worthless. Like you find them all over the place.
I mean, even you watch Squid Games, and they're like 100 million yen, and I'm just like, what? Like it's too big. It's too big of a number for that to be like $10,000, right? Which is like what it is.
Bring it back down.
Bring it back down.
But those are cases of hyperinflation, which is a bit different than like the current exchange rates we have.
Well,
because those are
and so that was
constant.
the argument. That was the argument against like Bitcoin, is that Bitcoin can't react to the market. So you look at like something in 2008 where you had all these banks failing for a whole different reason, but the Fed, the government, was able to step in and bail them out before the whole system collapsed, right? Like you had in 1929, right? Now I don't want to say the whole system collapsed, but it was worse, right? And with Bitcoin, if we were on just Bitcoin and something like that happened, there are no fixing it, right? You can't print money, you can't, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
What is this the disaster scenario you're talking about? Like how?
I mean, it could be anything. It could be something
because
like
you're talking
COVID.
about like the depression, like the bank runs in the 20s.
Well, yeah, or 2008, more so 2008, where these banks failed. Right? They made a bad bet, essentially.
Oh, you mean you can't cheat the system, is what it is.
Correct.
If you're on Bitcoin, you can't cheat.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yes.
Right. But Bitcoin gets away from debt completely.
Yeah.
It gets you back to a gold standard, right? So
right.
But a digital gold standard. When you're on this gold standard, it eliminates that whole ability for those market crashes like that,
Well, but what if the market did crash? What if something did happen and I'm not an expert in this, but then there's no way to say like, we're going to offset this by printing more money, or we're going to offset this by raising interest rate. You can't do that.
Can't do that.
So,
You can't
so then
cheat the system.
you're just at the will of the economy. Like that South Park episode, bow down to the economy,
Yeah. So if you say, let's, for instance, go back to times when there was no fiat, and say the whole world, worked on a gold standard.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there probably was local currencies, and that's kind of always
there definitely was. Sure.
Because not everybody has gold,
Sure. Right.
There was a long time
it was backed by gold.
Right.
Or other precious metals, maybe.
That's how the fiat currencies work, right? Is it, say, back in the medieval days even, you have a king who owns the gold, right?
Yeah. Right.
And those were the most powerful people back in those days. Were whoever held the gold were the rich people, right?
Yeah.
And
they're the ones that had determined how much the coin was worth.
Correct.
Right?
So they started coinage, and if they were using gold coins, that was one thing. But if they started to institute, hey, I've got all this gold, instead of just spreading out these gold coins that can get stolen, I'll just issue my currency in place of those gold. I'm going to make a finite supply of it. Well, then they start increasing the supply, right? Because that all just comes down to trust, right? So in a Bitcoin,
which is our
standard system,
our system's based
is built on trust, right?
Yeah.
Right. But that's what gold is, a trust, right? The Bitcoin system is all based on trust. It's trust and verify, right? So you can't cheat the Bitcoin system, whereas in a system where you have an entity that is creating whatever, right? If that's the money that's being used,
right?
Your trust is reliant on them, right? So if they decide to print more, well, then they can, because they're the ones that are in control of it. In Bitcoin, nobody controls the system, right? It's an agreed upon network. Everybody's running the same program that's verifying
Yeah,
to
and that's the
every
thing.
node.
There's
So you don't have
no
to. You don't actually. It's a trustless system in Bitcoin because you don't have to trust anybody
right.
because you're verifying through multiple
There's no
nodes.
centralized authority.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're taking the trust in a system of a certain one central system, like a central bank, a Fed, and a board of people that are willy-nilly setting interest rates off of what, right? We don't know.
Well, we do know.
And you're taking the trust away from a entity you don't trust and putting it in a trustless based system with Bitcoin, and all you do is verify everything. You verify every transaction that is made. And it brings the trust by being in a trustless system like that, it brings the trust back to everybody can see the ledger, right? Everybody can see everything that's going on.
Well, there you have it. I think that's an official endorsement from the NFNP pod for Bitcoin over the Fed. Sorry, Fed. we got to get what was the old MTV show?
MTV's defunct, man. There's no such thing as MTV anymore.
That's not true. There's still MTV. It's just not the MTV music channels in all of the countries that I go visit. It was Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you remember Celebrity Deathmatch? We need a Celebrity Deathmatch, and I bet you could have AI to probably generate this.
Bitcoin versus the Fed.
Bitcoin versus the Fed,
Powell.
and
Bitcoin versus Powell.
See who wins. All right.
I'll tell you what. I have actually been an ardent supporter of ending the Fed for when was Ron Paul running for president? Back in 2010?
Probably was it when Trump was running the first time? Or maybe it was before that.
I was out
Mitt
in
Romney?
Virginia. I was out in Virginia.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was before Trump. Was it Mitt Romney when Mitt was running?
So it must have been 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was it.
That was the one.
We didn't like
Mitt
Romney. Was that what?
That was Mitt Romney, right? In 2012.
I think because we had it was what's his name first?
And Obama, right? And we had Cheney.
Not
Dick Cheney.
No. The war hero.
What was his name?
McCain. John McCain.
John McCain.
Yeah. Him and then Romney.
Why since then?
Well, Ron Paul ran for president. I voted for Ron Paul in that election, and his whole platform. He was a senator from, where was he from? I don't remember where he was from, but he's always been a big time supporter of ending the Fed.
He was a little bit more libertarian, wasn't he?
He was, that's what I was all about. I still am. I would consider myself a libertarian more over than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't consider myself a Republican by any means.
I've got a completely sidebar story about a libertarian if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, do you know who Kennedy is on Fox News?
Oh, yeah. The girl?
Yeah. She's one of the gals. She's the one that wears the funky glasses.
What's her name? Her first name?
That is where I'm going. That's where I'm going. So she doesn't go by her. She goes by Kennedy, kind of like Madonna or Oprah.
Prince?
Prince, yes. She's known as Kennedy, right? And she's got a couple different shows. Kennedy Saves the World podcast. I think she has a show.
I think I've seen a show or two
News. Before. Yeah, and she'll join in on some other shows. She'll be on the Five on occasion, or Outnumbered, or Greg Gutfeld. So
I don't watch any of the Fox News anymore, but I say the Five has got to be the best show still.
Outnumbered, the Five, and Gutfeld. Those are my three. And you know what? I love Dana Perino. Absolutely love her. I think she's crazy smart. Greg Gutfeld.
Is that the Outnumbered one you're saying?
No, Dana Perino she does their 8:00 show for us. It'd be 9:00 in New York. And then she does the Five. So she's the one that sits next to Gutfeld on the Five. And then pretty much anybody on Outnumbered. Kaylee McEnany.
I don't think I've ever seen that show.
That's on at 11:00. And it's I know.
It's way past my bedtime.
No, 11:00 in the afternoon in the morning. In the morning. Yeah. The morning. So it's 4 women. Yes, at work, exactly. It's 4 women and then 1 man. That's why it's called Outnumbered. So Kayleigh McEnany is on there, Trump's first press secretary, who's good. Harris Faulkner, and then Emily Campagno, also excellent, very smart, very attractive. That's my Trump. Very smart, very attractive. You're not allowed to say that anymore, but I'm going to say it anyway. So anyhow, so Kennedy will join like those shows every now and then, and she's on Greg Gutfeld right now because Kat Timpf is taking her maternity leave. I digress. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. But Kennedy was a former MTV VJ, right? Video DJ. Do you remember these?
Yeah, back
so
we're
going, we're talking like 1990. So like we were still pretty young, right? Early to mid 90s, I guess. And she's a libertarian, which is how this whole thing came up, by the way. But I just found this information out. Goo Goo Dolls. They have 2 really famous songs.
Black Balloons.
No.
Is that Goo Goo Dolls?
I think so, but no. They got 2 really famous songs. Like if you had to pick their most popular songs.
I think I might be the only one I know.
Oh,
I don't know the names
that is
of them,
so
but
not
I
true.
know the song.
All right. Well, the first one is Iris.
Oh yeah,
that's their most popular. That's their most popular song. And their second one, Nilla, you said you don't know the names. The second one is Name.
Never would have guessed that.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not sure I know it.
Look it up after the podcast.
I know
of course
the word.
You know it. It's one of the most popular. I won't tell him your name. I'm not going to sing it. I'm kind of singing it like the Cheers theme song for whatever reason. But
I got it. Yeah.
Great show. That was a great show.
That song, Name, the lead singer from Goo Goo Dolls wrote the song about Kennedy. The song is about her. Yes.
Because he was
how old is that song?
They weren't exactly in a relationship, so it came out in like 1995.
Oh, old.
And she was an MTV VJ, like I mentioned, and I guess they were buddies. Like they became friends through music or something. And so he would take the train.
She'd be pretty young, right? She'd been 30
she was
years.
young. Yeah, she was like young.
7, 18, 19?
Yeah, probably 19, 20, like college age maybe, I don't know. And she had changed her name to Kennedy. Well, I mean, and it turns out that is her middle name. And that's what she goes by, and that's what she went by. And she told, I don't know, the lead singer from Goo Goo Dolls, they were like, he liked her, but I don't think they were ever in a relationship, even though he wanted to be. She told him her name, and the whole song is about how he won't tell her name. I just thought it was kind of crazy. I'm like, the Kennedy from Fox News is the inspiration for the Goo Goo Dolls name? Just flabbergasted.
Wow.
Flabbergasted.
Insane.
All right. I will say we've had a lot of sidebars.
So is she a libertarian?
She is a libertarian.
Yeah, okay. Is that how you circled all this together?
Exactly.
That's what that was about?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. I did have it on my list. If we ran out of things to talk about, I was like, oh, I'll tell that story.
It was on the wheel, but it's gone now.
It was not on the wheel, But that's what I'm saying. All right. We've done a lot of sidebars. I still got stuff to talk about here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Local in the loo. We have to do local in the loo.
All right.
And it could be straightforward here.
We'll come back to the Bitcoin again. We'll do that like in a.
We'll do a whole nother episode. We could do a deep dive on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
but we got to get into the freaking monkeys here. Are you guys up to date on this thing?
Are there more loose now? I heard another animal was loose too.
A goat.
Like,
a goat.
A goat.
Four monkeys and a goat. I mean, that's
a good band.
That's probably the name of this episode. If truth be told.
Do they still know where the monkeys came from?
They don't know where the monkeys came from.
Crazy.
Are they illegals?
They are illegals. They are illegals running around our city, which is probably why nobody's come forward, because they can't say those are my monkeys. They're mine.
Yeah, I guess. But they stopped looking for them. Well, if people spot them, don't they like call somebody, animal control? Hey, like the monkeys are right here. Come get them. And like, what happens?
So the problem was that there were too many AI pictures of the monkeys out there. And animal control couldn't figure out what photos were real and what photos were AI,
Okay,
so they didn't know what tips to follow.
So just take the phone call ones where people say they saw them, not a picture that I send you that I saw them, you know?
Well, they say these monkeys are like pretty smart, so they're vervets.
Yeah.
Which they're
Are they stealing people's purses?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they'll steal food. They're they're like
they hold it
smart,
hostage, right? They want you to pay them.
They'll get aggressive. Like that's the thing. If they get like spooked or if they think something's up, they'll get aggressive. And them biting people, I guess, is a real thing.
Well, I think they'll rip your face
wouldn't just
off,
go
man.
That one or nothing.
Yeah, hopefully not that much. Yeah, they're not lemurs. They're not cute. They're smart. They're fast.
They're vicious.
They grab your snack and they'll leave. Like
just
primates
give it to
or
them.
pirates.
Just give them the
put
snack.
some bananas out in the middle of the street and just have them come in there and throw one of those big nets over the top of them. You know?
Yeah.
So this,
this kind of all happened up in North St. Louis. Well, they can't find them.
You can't just
and they're
shoot
small.
Well, I mean, I guess it could, but
I
Peter
thought
might
there was
have
plenty of people with guns up in North City. Like,
well, they're Glocks. They're not rifles.
Well, again, it's all about the AI generated images, and I don't know if you saw any of them.
Oh,
it's pretty funny. Yeah, like the
all
obvious ones. Yeah, all over the place.
Museums, the blues game.
I love the blues one with their
arch.
faces were painted, the arch. Well, but then every like local business under the sun, so like Truman's Place over by you, Nilla, like had a picture of like the monkeys in front of their building. It was just like superimposed with AI. Like, oh, the monkeys stopped by.
I saw one down in front of Hodak's. I think it was a rhinoceros. No, I didn't see it. I saw a picture. I think it was a rhinoceros too. I think they were saying it was basically the scene from Jumanji.
Yeah. And then the goat. What was the deal with the goat? I don't really get that.
I don't
so this from Grant's farm or something?
They didn't say.
The only farm in the city.
The goat was a separate thing, but somehow it got connected with the monkeys, and I guess they found the goat. Was my understanding.
Oh, they did.
Okay. That's my understanding.
Not quite as smart.
But they still don't know how the monkeys got loose. They've suspended operations, and
did they release the goat? The monkeys? Did they release the goat on the public?
Who knows, man? Who knows what these monkeys
They're just little mischief makers.
Well, not only are they famous though in St. Louis, this made national news.
Yeah, I heard that.
It was on crazy. Jimmy Fallon. It was on Jimmy Kimmel. Everybody was talking about these damn monkeys. So,
we need some humor in the news.
St. Louis getting national attention. It's always a coin flip. Is this awesome or is it more like
ridiculous?
Why are we like this? Like why is this St. Louis?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Only in St. Louis.
Isn't it like what do they say that
any press is good press?
Yeah, kind of basically publicity. Yeah.
Hey, they put our name out there. Maybe we'll get an NFL team now. It's like we're big time. We got monkeys running loose.
The St. Louis Monkeys.
The St. Louis.
That's gonna be our team.
They're like the green bellied monkeys or something. They're called. I don't know. That's
like they're some different colors.
Yeah. All right. Let's do the wheel. We're over time.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
well, it will be.
A little bit. I still got beer left, so I'm doing all right. I'm drinking my second shift brewing Brewligans beer tonight. Brewligans.
Oh yeah, I've had that. I think.
Can't read that. It's too small. Oh, there it is.
Food news, restaurant closures.
I
will remove that.
I feel like I heard of something, but I don't know what it was.
They're closing the GameStop over by me.
Oh, I did hear something about that too.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with food, but I did read that they're closing. I think like almost all the GameStops in St. Louis are closing down.
Oh, I don't think
so. I read like 5 or 6 GameStops are closing down. How many can there be?
In St. Louis?
Quite a few, I think. I think there's still like 6 or something, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, why do people go to GameStop? Can't they just get it online?
Well, didn't we talk about the exchange anything at GameStop in a prior episode? Like you could bring them a dirty sock and they gave you like a $5 credit.
Do they?
Well, that's just stupid. But okay.
Well, that was a promotion they were running. That they were running. It was literally
could it have the hole in the one toe.
Anything. It was anything. They had just a couple of stipulations like no bodily fluids, no live.
Oh, God.
No live.
So they were actually giving you a $5 coupon to use.
$5 in-store credit or whatever, and you could bring anything. So you wanted to bring something you were trying to get rid of, an old house chair.
You might as well just tell them to not bring anything and they'll just give it to you then, because they don't. What are they going to do with it? Throw it away?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Then it's just more trouble, But I guess it gets people in the store. I don't know.
Just bring electronics that you would normally charge you then to dump, and then just give it to them. Yeah,
like an old television.
Old
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A was running a promotion yesterday.
Just bring an old couch in there.
Exactly. That was the whole
Chick-fil-A,
thing.
what?
They were running a promotion yesterday, and I was like, damn. All you had to do was show up wearing Blues gear, and you got 3 free chicken strips.
Oh, well. I didn't get that email.
Yeah, January 14th.
Actually, I probably just didn't read it.
I didn't do it
yesterday.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
You missed it
yesterday. Yep.
Damn, why didn't you tell me?
I don't know. So anyhow.
Who's closing?
Huh?
Who's closing?
Oh, well, we talked a little bit about this actually on Saturday night up at the Crafty Chameleon.
Maybe that's why I sounded familiar.
Yeah. Which I think, by the time I got home and had another beer, I was feeling pretty good. Caroline fell asleep. She got home and we watched 20 minutes of a show and she went to bed. The kids, kids were out. I stayed up. I watched the hockey game. We lost. But I was feeling, I think I only had one more beer the whole night. So
well, you had 4 there, I think, didn't you?
Yeah. Which doesn't sound like that many, but I don't know what the alcohol percentage
some of them
was.
were probably like 7-ish, maybe a couple of them.
Yeah, a little higher.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, exactly. You have 4 7% beers, you're gonna be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a 6-pack. Yeah.
16.
And there were 16 ounces.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You gotta keep compounding.
Right.
Yeah,
like
8
exactly.
beers.
Yeah. So 4. That's like 6 beers. Yeah.
Add another 2.
So St. Louis is getting hit hard with all these restaurant closures. It's been pretty tough.
Sucks because I feel like we need more.
Well, and I've always heard that we have more restaurants per capita than anywhere else in the country except for New York City.
But I think
seems crazy.
A lot of chain restaurants.
Yeah, we do. But we have a lot of great restaurants.
Sure.
The Loop, Dogtown,
in certain areas, exactly.
St. Charles Main Street, downtown, Lafayette Square. We got a lot of good.
We don't venture outside of our circle very.
I was gonna say.
I do. We do. Caroline and I, we do all the time. We'll go anywhere that has something good, something new.
Anywhere that has a $200 steak.
Well, on rare occasions. On rare occasions. All right. Well, here's why this caught my eye was High Point Drive-In specifically. I have some other ones.
That's closing.
But they're closing 3 stores. Baldwin, Edwardsville, and O'Fallon. So 2 of them are over in Illinois. And the one that we go to is in Kirkwood, which I love because they have this camper that's attached to the building, and the kids just play in it. So they go and they play. Caroline and I can have
inside?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
That.
So
okay.
they have plates and cushions and all kinds of things. So they
What do you
play
think
house
the reason
basically.
For this is?
They kind of said it was twofold, I guess. They said it was they expanded too fast.
And they were too expensive. I was going to say that
and they were too expensive. That not necessarily their costs were too expensive, and plus the other thing is Missouri just raised their minimum wage to $15. So and it's $7.50 for tipped employees. They did know that was coming, but they closed these 3 stores, and they blamed it primarily on having to refocus operations, and they're going to tighten up their ship on the restaurants they still have left.
I would say
I wonder those locations, what the kind of demographic was around in those spots.
Yeah,
would
Clayton was their flagship,
hamburger,
and then Kirkwood, and then they got one downtown.
What do you think about? And I've heard this before with other, any company. I mean, it doesn't even have to be, food or not, but it's hard to find good employees. It doesn't matter if it's $15 an hour or not now.
Right.
I mean, it's just hard to keep people. It's hard to get people. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that could definitely be something, but I love High Point. They're not cheap. I mean, we'll go there and it kind of feels like fast food, a little bit nicer. I mean, obviously it's nicer than McDonald's, and they have beer and stuff but we'll go there, get the kids to share a meal. Caroline and I will get a meal and then a beer or 2, and it's $75.
Yeah.
Each burger is $19.
So
we got milkshakes and stuff.
It's like
too,
Five
right?
Guys. I know Nate Dogg, they have all that, but we've never done it. But Nate Dogg said he went to Five Guys last night. It cost him $60 or something.
Yeah. Well, I think that was my whole thing is I've been to that one on Lindbergh, And for me, it was like Five Guys. It was like, well, I got a
Yeah.
Five Guys that I would go to that's closer. You know,
Right.
so
Sure.
it wasn't
Yeah.
anything that was like made it stand out to me. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. High Point, you mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it was fine. Like I
Yeah,
liked it all right, but it wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to come back here. I was like, I can
Yeah.
get a hamburger.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
similar to this.
We like it when we're
somewhere
in the
else.
area, mainly because of the kids, because
Yeah.
they're occupied, and But they're
They
the
have a
same
playground.
company that runs Sugar Fire, so same
Right.
company.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I like Sugar Fire. They closed that one in Arnold. I was upset about that.
Yeah, I
Oh, they
don't
did? I
understand
didn't
how
even know
they
that.
can't. Like Sugar Fire is so good.
Yeah.
They run limited food. Once they run out of their barbecue, they're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like any other barbecue place.
I tell you, I
Yeah.
went in. I would always go in there to pick it up to go. We ate there a couple
Yeah.
times, but it was never really packed. You know, and I don't know if it was
Mm.
just like the odd hours I was getting the food, but I was probably more
I've
like
seen the one in Fenton
dinner
packed,
time.
though.
So
I've seen it packed.
I
And
have seen it before,
again-
but there was a lot of times where I would go in there and be nobody. You know, so I
Again,
don't
they're
know.
not cheap. I mean, nothing's cheap, but I mean, you
I
know what I
think
mean?
that was a bad location. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
And maybe that was
in
it.
that little area.
Yeah.
Maybe for the price point.
Right.
I mean,
I think it's hard to get to.
Oh, where was it at exactly? I don't even know.
In Arnold, it was kind of over near the Walmart, but it was back off of a road and tucked way back, like off
behind
by
Walmart,
itself.
kind of.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
no. It was
That's
like
same like
before
General
Walmart.
Plaza. Oh, no, okay.
Before you get to that light, I think, or maybe it's no. Yeah,
There's nothing
it's
there.
like
It's got to be there.
No, I'm sorry. It's going down to that, going past Walmart to the right.
Where 54th Street used to be? No, there's something else there now. Before Kohl's?
I don't know where Kohl's is.
It's
I know if you're going to the
behind
Walmart
almost.
and you go past it, and it was down to the right. There was like a Club Fitness down there.
Okay, yeah, maybe. All right.
But I just think it was really
Anyways.
tucked too far away that nobody wanted to go.
Kind of. What
all
else?
the way
Is
down
there other places closing too?
Yeah.
There's really
so
not much back in that.
Steve's Hot Dogs
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Fountain, both of them on Delmar, they're closing because of slow tornado recovery from the city.
Yeah.
Robust Bistro and Wine Bar are closing. That was a popular one in Webster Groves because of a lawsuit. St. Louis Public Radio counted about 14 closings in December alone. So other ones included Wheelhouse downtown by the stadium, by Busch Stadium.
Place?
Yeah. I've heard of some of these. Burger 809, Rockstar Tacos, Cafe Pizza, Little Lucy, Lucy Q. We also just talked about.
I think there's a lot of that restaurant turnover though every year.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Session Taco, they're closing 2 locations now.
I mean, there's also new places coming up though too. It seems like constantly.
Yeah, and that is true. That is true.
What's that wine place? Where was that at exactly? Do you know? Because
I don't know exactly. We have been there, and actually we talked about going there for New Year's because they had reservation openings. So we were like, we can go there, but we didn't. No, it's Webster Groves. I don't know.
Oh, it's Webster. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think probably over there by like the Block or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Ferguson Brewery, Pie Guy. I mentioned Session Tacos.
Ferguson
Harvey's
Brewery,
Coffee.
but somebody else is taking it over.
Yeah, somebody else is taking it over.
Good news.
Steampunk Brewery.
Steampunk. I've heard of that.
Honky Tonk.
Honky Tonk.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a couple, but prices for these restaurants, they're going up. Inflation is up. Food costs are up.
Yeah.
It's expensive. The fact of the matter is it's expensive to go out to eat. So
thank you, Fed.
more people probably are staying in. What'd you say, Duds?
Yeah. I said thank you, Fed.
Thank you, Fed. Yeah. See, it all comes back around. It all comes back around.
Boils down.
All right. Couple last minute things. You guys see anything with the Supreme Court hearing on trans athletes?
Did they decide?
No decision. That probably won't come down till the summer. So we'll have to wait till like June for the ruling. But certainly it looked
After
to
the
go
Olympics.
the conservative way, based on the judges. And I forget which judge it was, but he came out and he said like, well, can you give me the definition of male and female? And the lawyer was like, we're not prepared to give that definition. And he was like,
prepared?
Right. He was like, how can the
You
court
should be
make a
able to do that on the
ruling
fly.
about sex
I
if
could
you
ask a
can't even
5-year-old, they could tell you.
define sex? Right. That was pretty good. So I don't know, crazy. And then Holly, if you saw that exchange, I think we posted it in the group chat.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
He just blasted this doctor, that would not commit to saying that men could not get pregnant.
She follows the science, though, so it's okay.
She follows the science. Yeah.
I would never let a doctor work on me that couldn't answer that question.
Yeah,
she should lose her license.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I guess
biological male?
We're talking about exactly biological. No. We're not talking about all this sex change. Whatever. We don't care about that. Okay,
right.
That's what she cares about, though.
I don't care if you care about it. It's a yes or no question, like you said. I mean, it's
she
blatant.
wouldn't answer it. She wouldn't do it. She wouldn't bow down.
No.
Oh yeah.
She was
he had an
idiot.
Two last things here. The great healthcare plan. So Trump announced that today.
What does it mean?
And we may have talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I can't remember.
So,
but he said he wants to give the money to the people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is how I interpreted it. It was, instead of us paying the government and then the government giving the money to the insurance companies, we're going to pay the government and then they're going to give it back to us so that we can pay the insurance companies.
I was like, hold on. So what?
So basically, we're going to pay the insurance companies with our own money that the government is giving back to us.
That is true.
That we paid them.
So we're paying the same amount.
Well, he's saying that prices will go down about 10 or 15%. And, his whole thing is that
I think
Obamacare has given the money to the insurance companies as to offset the high prices.
Right.
But
and
clearly
I think
that didn't work.
Is also him telling them they have to be more open with all of the costs.
Yeah.
Like you have to publish.
Yeah, he did say that.
You have to.
He said this last time he was in office too, though.
Because that's my biggest complaint is like you don't know what anything costs.
Yeah.
Like and you have multiple doctors working on you when you go in for stuff. You get multiple bills.
Yeah, right.
I shared my story about Frankie's ear thing where they told us, they were like, it's going to cost $600 after your insurance. So we prepaid the $600 and then I got a bill for $1,800, of which I still have not paid. And then I got a follow-up bill from the doctor for $400. So I'm like, okay, that's $2,200 plus the $600 that I prepaid. I'm at $2,800 now for the surgery you told me was going to cost $600.
Yeah.
And you know what? Guess what?
Not going to do it.
Heaven forbid that it costs less than that and you already paid more. Good luck getting your money back. It'll take you like a year.
Sure.
We'll just give you a credit. We'll put it on your account. It'll be credit. Next time you come in.
The next time you need ear surgery.
But the credit, we're going to give it to the government so they can pay the insurance company, and then you'll get it back. File it on your taxes. It's a write-off.
It's a deduction.
The other thing I guess that this great healthcare plan does is it codifies the prescription drug prices, which Trump is saying that we're going to get the lowest price on the global market
in the world.
So in the world, right? So for
that doesn't sound like a bad thing.
No, it's a great thing. Drug XYZ. No,
right, we should be getting the cheap drugs.
They currently gouge Americans.
Oh yeah,
they use us to fund their research. Right now, I'm wondering if this will raise prices on the global market.
That's probably where the monkeys came from. Actually, I bet you.
You know what?
A lab.
I heard on the radio the other day that a year ago, monkeys escaped from a herpes lab or something like that.
Oh, they're giving everybody herpes.
Look it up, the herpes monkeys. They escaped like a year ago down in Louisiana. And they could have made their way up to St. Louis, so it could be the same.
Make national news. I didn't hear about it.
Could be the same monkeys. I don't know.
My boss jokingly said Melancholy, whatever. That's probably where they came from. And I was like, yeah, probably. Melancholy, what do I say it?
I don't know.
They're like a lab, they do lots of experiment stuff, whatever, and drug stuff.
Oh, they experiment on
St. Louis. Well, I mean, who doesn't probably?
Then release these virus-ridden monkeys on the city.
It's like Outbreak. Do you remember the old Dustin Hoffman movie, Outbreak?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. That was the first R-rated movie I think I ever watched.
Man, I think if I was walking the dog, I'd have to carry a shotgun to get the monkeys away. I'm not going to let those things attack me.
Luckily, it's up in North St. Louis. We're all good.
Well, that's what they were. Who knows now?
Yeah, that's true. They could have migrated.
They're not going to stay. They're just going to go wherever they want.
Well, nobody wants to stay in North St. Louis.
Well, I saw some article and some woman's like, well, yeah, I can't keep my dog outside and stuff. And now, because they were afraid these monkeys were going to attack them. I was like, well, first of all, it's like freezing out. Your dog shouldn't be out there in the first place, maybe. But like,
True.
I mean,
your dog is an ice cube.
You're really worried about your dog, really. I can see, yeah.
All right, last thing that I have, and this just happened right before I saw it, right before we got on, and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. I got to talk about it. The Florida Panthers, they won the Stanley Cup last year. They actually won the Stanley Cup 2 years in a row. They were at the White House today, and this is a tradition. And if you remember during Trump's first term, a lot of teams were boycotting going to the White House for their recognition for being the champions or whatever. But it's back on now. All the teams seem to be going, and they're having fun with it. Well, the Florida Panthers all showed up today wearing Trump's suits. So, you know, like a navy blue suit with a bright red tie. The whole team, they were all wearing it. And then Matthew Tkachuk, St. Louisan,
Saw that.
Tkachuk's son. Yeah. So he gave the speech, and he gave a great speech. You know, very appreciative of President Trump, proud to be an American, because of course a lot of the guys are Canadian hockey, you know, so a lot of people up there were Canadian, but he is of course American. He's from St. Louis.
How old is he?
And 30.
Oh, okay.
Maybe younger. I don't know.
All right, I was just curious.
You know, we tried to get him here in St. Louis, but he chose Florida, probably for a couple of reasons. There's no income tax in Florida, so unfair advantage. So
maybe not anymore for shortly here. I don't know.
Well, and he's won. You know what? He's won 2 Stanley Cups, so obviously he made the right decision. But he ended it by saying that, you know, he'll be representing Team USA in the Olympics, and he couldn't be more proud to be there, you know, with President Trump. You know, so definitely think that he's MAGA, and maybe the entire Florida Panthers. Is he
one of the best
team.
Players in the league?
Yes, he is.
Is he?
Yes, no
so,
doubt.
I mean, put him on the Blues, and how much better are the Blues?
Yeah. Way better. And we tried to get his brother too.
Stanley Cups.
So he has Brady Tkachuk. You know, we would take Brady. They're both 2 of the best players, and in the brothers.
Oh, it's a brother.
Yeah. And they grew up here in St. Louis. Keith Tkachuk, of course, played for the Blues. And his daughter is actually a really good athlete too. I think maybe a gymnast, if I remember correctly. But the 4 Nations Cup last year, if you remember, it was the U.S., Canada, Finland,
Russia.
Russia wasn't in it because of the Ukraine war. So I'm missing one, you know. But anyway, Sweden probably.
Probably Greenland.
Norway.
Yeah. No, I think it was Sweden. So you had the 4 of them, and, you know, it ended up being U.S., Canada, and Canada ended up squeaking it out, which was great for Jordan Binnington and Parenko. But Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk ran the show. Like, they were on the national stage. Everybody loved them. They were fighting. They were scoring goals. These 2 guys are pretty awesome. So,
so what do you think? I got a question for you. So, if you had the opportunity, and I don't fault somebody for choosing one way or the other, but if you were given the opportunity, if you were a superstar hockey player or
to play for your
player,
hometown team,
if you had the opportunity to play for your hometown, would you take it?
You would think. I mean,
I would think so. You would lean towards taking it. I mean, unless the money was so drastically different.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. And, you know, so when we had the All-Star game here back in 2020, I believe it was, before COVID. So the Blues had just won the Stanley Cup. We were the best team in the NHL before COVID. We were probably the favorites to win the Stanley Cup again. So COVID really derailed us. We hosted the All-Star game. Matthew Tkachuk was there, and he ripped off his Calgary jersey, who he was playing for at the time, and he had a big Cardinals jersey, Cardinals hockey jersey underneath. The crowd went wild. You know, of course, it was a big thing on the national broadcast. So, you know, it was a lot of fun. And people back then, they started talking because they knew he wasn't staying in Calgary.
Right.
And they were like, he's coming to St. Louis. He's a St. Louis boy. He loves St. Louis. You know, he brought the Stanley Cup back to St. Louis. They take it around to all of his favorite places. You know, he's a St. Louis kid.
So what do you think his contract is, like with Florida?
I'd have to look that up. I mean, he's probably making $12 to $14 million a year.
I'm sure the Blues made him an offer, right?
On an 8. You have to think so. I mean, I don't think that was disclosed. You know, we probably couldn't have gone that high. You know, maybe we went 10 million. But again, he's also not paying freaking state income tax on $14 million.
That's not really fair.
If it's a difference of $40 million, you know, over 8 years, it's like
right.
That's kind of
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. You know?
And now when you see these Florida teams, or any of these states that don't have income tax that start winning all these championships, I think the leagues are starting to get wise to like, well, wait a minute, you know.
But, salary cap, you know, yeah.
Well, they could penalize them. They could their salary cap could be 5% less or something. You know, I don't know.
Does Keith Kachuk live here?
But why do you get penalized
he still
for
lives here.
having a better way of doing business? You know, not having income tax. I feel like
that's the state of Florida. The state of Florida should definitely win. Now the NHL, they could do whatever rule they want to even the playing field.
Sure.
But as the state of Florida goes, 100%. State of Missouri, we're trying to get rid of our income tax right now.
That's the thing. Like, if we could get rid of the income tax, that would help out a lot.
Sure.
Drawing in players.
It makes us not even just from a sports standpoint. It makes us more competitive for free industry. Yeah.
I will say, in Missouri's defense, that they have been lowering the income tax, and I think it's going to be 4% this year, or I think it's this year. I don't know if it was for last year or not.
The question is then where are
5%?
Where are they getting their money? Because it's not like gambling. Maybe. Probably. I was gonna say it's not like we're getting more people.
There's a ton of compulsive gamblers in Missouri, I think.
Which we've already said the NFNP pod does not condone sports betting.
If you have,
actually, I was thinking about doing it though.
Call 1-800. That's off.
Well, they have that thing where if you bet $5 and you win, you get $300 in credits. My brother, I don't know. My brother has his account, and then he signed up his wife so that she could get the $300. Well, because you have to put in like your social security and number and all that stuff.
It's a commitment.
An account. Yeah. And
then once you're in there, you're like, hey, I could place a bet. You know, every once in a while. I got the money.
I mean, not to go too much into sports and everything, whatever, but that Arenado got traded.
Yeah. And so I saw that, which fine. We kind of knew we were trying. Here's the big thing. So we traded him. We got a player, whatever. But we're holding on to $31 million of his remaining salary. Plus, we traded Sonny Gray and one other player, the catcher. I can't think of his name at the moment. The catcher. And so in total, the Cardinals are paying, I think, just under $60 million for 3 players that aren't even going to play for us next year.
That's crazy. That's insane. I don't understand that.
I have a struggle with that too. Like why? I don't know.
It's the Fed.
Making room for new guys.
I guess I get that. But you could keep the guy on your team and just not play him. I mean, he's going to be unhappy, I guess, but might make bad locker room culture.
I cared what their budget was. I say spend all the money now and go get the best players. If you want to win, go pay the money.
And so the Cardinals are going to have to do something here because we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago, right? Like downtown, people aren't going to games anymore. Somebody made a joke the other day. They were like, just in case anybody's wondering, like single game tickets are being released tomorrow or whatever.
For free.
In case anybody's worried that they're not going to be able to get the ticket, right? Like,
haven't heard a peep out of anybody.
Tickets are practically free, you know. Yeah. I tell people that I can go to a Cardinals game for $4. You know, like my coworkers are shocked. They're like, $4,
but they're still not going.
Yeah,
you gotta pay like $80 for a hot dog and beer.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. How much is it going to cost you still?
Yeah. Well, if you want to have fun, that's the thing. Not only like if you're really committed to not spending money, you can go there and not. I mean, I've seen people bring Subway sandwiches and
I used to bring food in.
Of course, you go out beforehand. Well, and that is of course. Any sport, right?
The food tastes better if you win. The beer's colder.
It's kind of like the beer tastes better and it's free.
Better.
Always. I remember going to a game. We sat in the bleachers. It was like 104 degrees. I got a beer and it was like instantly warm. And I'm like, this is terrible. So then we went on the hunt for like the iced margaritas. And we had to drink that for the rest of the game because it was so freaking hot. I was like, I can't even drink a beer.
It's amazing how quickly you can lose interest in a baseball team when they're not committed to winning.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's like very easy.
Because it's 162 games. It gets a little redundant. So until you get to the play, if there's no playoff run, like come September, you know, and you don't make it to the play, like, it's quick to lose interest. Now, some of the other sports, NFL, MLS, even more so than hockey, they have so limited games that even if you're bad, like, St. Louis City has been pretty bad for the last 2 years, but I still love going to the games, and they're still sold out. Every game is sold out, even though we're bad, because there's only a couple of them a year.
It's still
same
new
with the NFL
too, to some degree.
Yeah, that
but
probably helps.
yes,
that probably helps.
I mean, sure. I mean, so maybe what they need to have less games.
The Cardinal? I mean, I'm not saying that. The operating system probably works. They just need to win, right? Yeah.
I think soccer has a good thing going because the game, it's hard to score a lot. So it seems like every game is fairly competitive, so it's pretty exciting to watch.
When you go to a game too, and we've all been to the game. When you go to the game, I think people realize, like, I understand you're watching it on TV or whatever, and you're like, oh, this is slow. But when you go to the game, you realize how much faster it is.
It's faster,
in most situations.
But if they're not scoring, though, I still think it's not as eventful, right? So it's not as fun. Kind of like the way you were saying,
frustrating.
Hockey. Okay, sometimes hockey games go like no score hardly until the end of the third. Whatever. It's kind of like, come on, like I want to see some action. I mean, not that there's not action. It's just scoring.
I think I mentioned this the other week. Caroline and we went to one Blues game last year on a Saturday night, and it was 0-0 until like the end of the third or something. The other team scored, and then they scored an empty netter. Wow. We lost 2-0, I think.
2-0. Okay.
Right, and I was like, this is a terrible game, and we wasted our Saturday night. Spent a pretty decent chunk of money. We didn't even have a goal to celebrate. Like it's tough, and it's tough in soccer too.
My favorite was always a close baseball game. You're not playing very good, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, okay, we're gonna win this, or lose, and then they tie it up and it goes to extra innings. You're like, oh my god, and it keeps going, and it's like nobody.
You see some of those that go 18 innings.
God.
You lose an 18-inning game, or it's kind of like in the playoffs for hockey. It goes to 5 overtimes and you lose. Like,
it's hard to come back.
Somebody's got to lose, but
I feel like we are in the overtime stages of this podcast now.
We are.
This is certainly one of our longer podcasts for sure. So I don't know. Did you guys have anything else? I know we ran the gamut tonight.
Yeah. There's always more to talk about, but maybe not tonight. We'll leave a little bit on the line for the listeners for next week.
Yep. We'll tease next week. That's right. Well, give us a follow, give us a like, listen on nfnppod.com, and we'll see you next week. Join the posse.
Later.
Peace.
This number has been disconnected.